The House kicked off a busy week Monday by picking up where it left off the previous Friday and continued the debate on the Omnibus Transportation Finance proposal. House File 1555 passed, as amended, on a 74-58 vote, following 9+ hours of debate over the 2 days. The proposal would hike the state's gas tax by 20 cents in coming years and inject billions of new dollars into road, bridge, and transit budgets that state officials say are desperately needed.
Minnesotans know that our infrastructure is critical. Minnesotans know that farm to market matters, that goods are being damaged by our crumbling infrastructure. And Minnesotans know that to move forward with prosperity, we need to have a modern, first-rate infrastructure that meets our needs.
The gas tax provision is one of Governor Tim Walz's top priorities. DFL leaders say it would raise nearly $600 million in funding for the state's roads and bridge infrastructure in the 2020-21 biennium. Republicans counter that a gas tax would hurt lowest-income Minnesotans the hardest.
The price of gas matters. People pay attention to it, and be honest about it.
This ambitious transportation bill is a shift, could be a shift into reverse for motorists of Minnesota, making Minnesota one very expensive place to drive.
If enacted, the state's gas tax would go from among the middle of the pack to one of the highest in the nation. The House pushed ahead early Tuesday morning and approved the Omnibus Public Safety Bill by a 70-64 vote. Checking in at nearly $2.8 billion, the proposal would fund corrections, public safety programs, and courts across the state.
Why do we believe in public safety? Because we believe in Minnesotans. Our approach throughout this whole year has been a community-centered public safety approach. It's through building strong communities. Let me say it this way: strong communities are safe communities.
2 DFL-sponsored gun control provisions are in the final product, which caused many Republican members to vote against the bill, even though it contained public safety measures they support.
You want to start a database for gun registry. You want to violate our Second Amendment rights to keep and bear arms. You want to violate our Fourth Amendment right to be secure in a person's houses, papers, effects against unreasonable search and seizure.
The 2 bills that are in this will do nothing to reduce gun crime. And in Minnesota, we have a rich tradition of sporting, hunting, and firearms ownership. What this bill will do is make it more difficult for people to legally own firearms.
After regrouping later that morning, the House spent the rest of the day passing the remaining omnibus finance bills. The higher ed, environment, and state government bills all received approval. Following the floor debate, Majority Leader Ryan Winkler capped off the lengthy floor session with a speech praising the House budget.
Members, this is an historic budget, an historic legislative agenda. We are trying to address with this budget generational challenges facing Minnesotans.
Wednesday was the self-imposed deadline to pass major finance bills that legislative leaders agreed to earlier this session. With both the House and Senate approving their budgets, conference committees began to take shape. On Thursday, House DFL leaders announced the conference committee schedule, which they said could bleed into the weekend.
We certainly have had House members and Senate members working very hard from January till now, and the administration as well. We have 3 complete budget proposals that we're bringing to conference and to negotiations. And in order for this session to be different from so many that preceded it, we need to do things differently. We need to continue to drive very, very aggressively. Right now, we don't take our foot off the accelerator. Actually, we push down a little further.
Monday, May 6th, marks the second self-imposed deadline by which legislative leaders and Governor Walz have agreed to provide fiscal targets to the chairs of conference committees on major finance bills. There are many budget sticking points between the 2 legislative bodies. The legislature has until May 20th to come to a budget agreement. For more nonpartisan coverage of the Minnesota House of Representatives, check out our Session Daily coverage on the House website, www.house.mn/sessiondaily.